Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning in to this week's video message. At our Seders, we'll encounter two central themes of Passover in our Haggadah, two very different but very central themes. One theme talks about the hatred and threats that we Jews have faced generation after generation, and that with God's help, we have been able to survive. This theme is encapsulated in the song V'hisha Amda, which says that in every generation an enemy has risen against us to destroy us, and God has delivered us from their hands. The other theme that we'll encounter talks about our obligation to always remember what it is like to be oppressed, and to turn this memory into empathy and action for liberation, justice, and peace in our world today. This theme is encapsulated in the line, "In every generation, each of us must see ourselves as if we ourselves were liberated from Egypt." Now, I would imagine that each of us gravitates to one of these themes more than the other in the Seder, and that this is all the more true this year in this time of war in Israel and Gaza. Some of us this year are gravitating more towards this first theme, and this is because we're feeling an acute sense of vulnerability and fear and grief about what's happening to the Jewish people right now. In light of the events of October 7th, the last 6 months of war for Israel and for Israelis, the ensuing anti-Semitism we've experienced, and now, unfortunately, the threat of escalating violence with Iran, some of us are coming to the Seder primarily with feelings of pain and concern for the future of Israel and the Jewish people. And we come to the Seder hoping and praying that God delivers us, just like God delivered our ancestors. Others of us, though, are gravitating towards the second theme this year. And this is because we're feeling an acute sense of injustice of this time and a deep feeling of urgency about achieving a peaceful, just, and safe future for both Israelis and Palestinians. In light of over 30,000 Palestinians dead, of hundreds and thousands of Palestinians starving in Gaza, of Israelis and Jews around the world remaining unsafe, some of us are coming to the Seder primarily with the feelings that we must be part of the fight for freedom and justice and peace for both peoples and for all peoples, with the sense that this is the only way that Jewish people, but of course all people, enjoy true safety. And we come to the Seder hoping and praying that if we can all join together in this fight for liberation, no one will ever know Egypt again. How we approach Passover this year is likely inextricably linked with how we're feeling about the war in Israel and Gaza. Now, while knowing we might each gravitate towards one of these themes by default, I want to suggest that we nonetheless try and make space for both of them, because both offer us something uniquely valuable this Passover. Passover can be a really important time for us to hold space for the grief of what happened on October 7th, to hold space for the anti-Semitism that is happening to Jewish people here and around the world. And it can be a time to both comfort one another, but also to remember our resilience as a people who's figured out how to thrive generation after generation amidst violence and persecution. But Passover can also be an important time to rise up out of our despair and renew our commitment to fighting for liberation and justice and peace for all people, for remembering that because we were slaves in Egypt, the Torah obligates us to fight for the freedom of others, and to reground ourselves in the knowledge that our safety and well-being as Jews is inextricably linked with the safety and well-being of others. In these ways, Passover can be a time of healing and of transformation, of healing the brokenness in our hearts in this time, and of transforming our hearts so that we can recommit to the important work of pursuing peace and justice and safety for all of us that lies ahead. With that, I want to invite each of us to reflect this week. Which of these two Passover themes do you find yourself gravitating towards this year? And how might we make space for both of them, knowing that they can offer us some of the healing and transformation that we need in this time? As usual, I look forward to hearing your responses to these questions. You can reach me at rabbi@bethtorah.org. I look forward to hearing what's on your heart and your mind.